There is a ripple effect when you decide to choose yourself publicly. Choose yourself in general, but even more so when you choose yourself publicly in front of other people, in front of friends, in front of family. If you are a content creator, which I feel like we all could just be one nowadays, like if we own a business or if we are working for a business or we are actually an influencer or a creator or something like that, like we all are a creator, even if you just have your own little diary online. But when you choose yourself publicly, you create a ripple effect for other people to also choose themselves. You become an inspiration for other people to choose themselves. And not just to choose themselves, but to choose themselves in the most irrevocable, honest, and transparent way. Because I don't know about you, but I could tell when someone isn't being fully honest and transparent, when they're not being fully and irrevocably themselves. And I'm not talking about spilling the beans on every single little detail of their life. No, I'm talking about just being truly and honestly who they are. That's inspiring. To choose yourself and to do it so openly, to do it in a way where you don't care what anyone has to say about it because you're choosing you. It doesn't matter what anybody else has to say because all that matters is that you're choosing you. You know exactly who you are. You know exactly what you are capable of. And that's everything, by the way. Anything and everything. It is so powerful to do that. To stand on top of the mountain and scream, I am choosing myself. Do it. Stand up right now. Say it. I am choosing myself. If there's anything that I want you to take away from today's episode, from joining the Self Love Collective, by being a self love bestie with me, by listening to the Self Love Archives podcast, coming to our events, anything, at the very least, at the very minimum, the only thing, the number one thing that I want you to take away from today's episode is that it is so incredibly powerful to choose yourself. And I hope that after today's episode, you'll do exactly that. Welcome back to the Self Love Archives podcast. I am your self love bestie, Julia Salvia. Welcome if you're new here. Hi. You are about to change your life today if you are new here. And if you've been here, I hope that you are already on the path to choosing yourself, loving yourself more, and changing your life. I hope it's been life changing when you finally realize the most important person in your life is you. I did something crazy at the beginning of this year. You might already know about it. You might not already know about it. But the Self Love Archives has created the first ever immersive self-love experience. And this is not like an ad. Like, I am not going to try to convince you to come. I'm hoping that by the end of it, you realize how insane it is that I and my very small team, aka my assistant and my boyfriend, I get free labor from. I hope you know that this event is so much more than just an event. It's so much more than just an event. The crazy decision that I decided to make at the beginning of the year was to go ahead and secure the venue for Bloom, our immersive self-love experience. And what was crazy about it is that it was $12,000. This venue was actually more than that. And I've actually been told throughout my entire life to never talk about finances, to never speak so openly about them. And I think I never have because it was always really scary to do so, especially in so many different ways. I think that there's a lot of shame tied to money and tied to finances, and a lot of different opinions on money and finances. And I think for me, I really try hard to understand and realize that every single cent that I ever spend is only coming back to me tenfold. Every single dollar that I spend, that you spend, every single dollar that you spend is going to come back to you tenfold. So if you spend, $10 today on a coffee, that's a really expensive coffee. I hope it's a good one. It's going to come back to you tenfold. Tomorrow, a week from now, you're going to get $100. You're going to make $100. You're going to find $100. You're going to get a check in the mail for $100. It's going to come back to you tenfold, 100-fold. And that's the way that we all should view money. So all that to say, I made a very financially irresponsible decision at the beginning of this year to book this venue for Bloom. $12,000, toodaloo, bye, down the drain. And if I cancel this contract, rescind it, and not go through with the event, I lose out on half of that. And that's kind of scary, right? That's kind of scary to say, oh, well, that wasn't financially smart. But actually, what if it was? What if this decision was the best decision of my entire life? What if making this decision right here changes the trajectory of how the next couple of months, years of my life goes? What if that huge decision, whether it's a financial decision or a location decision or just a really big decision, what if that changes the trajectory of where your life takes you after that? The funny thing is you're not actually going to know. You're going to make this decision and you can think whatever you want. I can sit here and tell you that this was a financially irresponsible decision, but I tend to think that that's actually an opinion, not a fact, because if the event is successful and this changes where the self-love archives goes, that wasn't a financially irresponsible decision. That was a very bold and brave and courageous decision. That was a smart fucking decision. That's the funny thing about life, is that we could sit here and make assumptions about what a huge decision is going to, how it's going to affect us, right? How it's going to change our lives. And we could think in this moment that this decision, whether we are actually making the decision or it's kind of happening for us, kind of like one of those blessing in disguise moments, we could sit here and say that, yeah, X, Y, and Z is going to happen after I make this choice. But how do you know that X, Y, and Z is actually going to happen? How do you know that if you move across the country or across the world, that it's actually going to be the best decision for you? How do you know that if you have to move for a job or move to a different place because of whatever the reason, how do you know that that's going to be the worst decision you've ever made? You don't. You don't actually know how it's going to work out for you. So why not make the choice to make bold decisions? Why not do things that are big? In January, every single year, a thought comes to my head. It's kind of like a light bulb goes off, and the light bulb is usually on a word or a phrase. It's like either in conversation or I see it somewhere or I'm journaling or talking to myself as one does. And a light bulb goes off and I'm like, that's it. That's the theme. That's 2020, whatever. That's what our focus is going to be on this year. And this year, I said, this is the year of going big. This is the year where I am done making myself small. This is the year where we are all done making ourselves small. We are capable of so much. So why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you putting yourself in rooms that you are totally capable of speaking in, sitting in, being in? Why aren't you putting yourself out there? Why aren't you publicly and without shame choosing you? Because that's what it is, right? Making decisions and doing things that are scary, that are big, that are bold, that are brave, that are courageous, doing things that are all of those things, most importantly, scary, doing things that are scary, doing things for you, is choosing yourself. Building this self-love expo has taught me so much about choosing myself. And I want to share with you a little bit of the behind the scenes and a little bit of that process of how this self-love event is actually helping me choose myself. And in today's episode, I want to share 4 of those lessons with you. So let's get into it. Lesson number 1, say yes, even when you're scared. Make the choice to do it, even if you're scared. Do not let fear hold you back, because it will. It will hold you back. There's this fear that pops up when you're ready to do something big, when you're ready to start choosing yourself. And I'm not talking about like the little things like choosing yourself, waking up and going to buy yourself flowers. No. I'm talking about the big things. That's what this episode is about. We're talking about the big things, the scary decisions that you really can't even foresee how it's going to play out for you, right? Because this decision is so big. This decision is scary. This is one of those decisions like you're entering into a new relationship, you're buying a new house, buying a new car, you're moving to a different place. You're making a huge decision that's going to change your life as it is today. That fear that's settled into your body that you feel is the only thing that's going to stop you from actually making the decision. We've talked about this in a couple of other episodes. There's a couple of different ways to decipher fear from genuine fear of your safety. And those are 2 different types of feelings that I hope that you are able to decipher for yourself. For myself, when I feel tightness or fear in my chest, that is how I know that I am safe, that there is nothing that is going to harm me, that it is just an uncomfortable feeling or decision that I'm about to or looking to make. If I am feeling fear in my gut, kind of like that gut intuitive feeling, that is the fear that I feel when I am unsafe, when a decision is not aligning with me. And that's super important when thinking about this type of fear that you are feeling. I'm talking about that feeling of being scared because you don't know what's next. That feeling that you get when you don't actually know how this decision is going to affect your life. That is exactly how I felt when making this decision to go really big for Bloom this year. It was scary to go from the event that we had in 2024 to basically jumping to an event that's 5 times bigger. But I knew in my intuition, my gut was saying, no, this is the right decision. but my chest is telling me that I'm scared. And not because I'm fearful of my safety, not because I don't think this is the right decision, but because this decision is uncomfortable. That is the fear I'm talking about. That uncomfortableness. That fear that's just uncomfortable. Like, it's uncomfortable to sit in this decision because you don't know what's next. Because we can't see the future. We don't know what the future holds. And although we can sit here and our intuition is telling us this is a good decision, right now it doesn't feel good. Our bodies inherently and naturally just like to be comfortable and content, right? Because that keeps us safe. But there's a difference between jumping into a higher version of yourself and staying put and staying comfortable. We live in a whole different world now where we can make bold decisions and do crazy things. I mean, I love this quote that's actually in our venue, Bellworks, if you haven't heard of it. Well, it's basically where they film Severance, that TV show on Apple TV. And they have a little like stone in a flower pot. And it's an Albert Einstein quote. And this quote says, "Only those who attempt the absurd can achieve the impossible." Let me say it again for you. Only those who attempt the absurd can achieve the impossible. So basically, if you're crazy enough to attempt something, to do something, to make the decision to create something or take action on one of your dreams, you are the type of person that can achieve what no one else can, what someone who isn't taking those chances can. Lesson number 2. Oh my gosh, this one digs deep for me. Keep showing up even when you aren't 100% confident. I was listening to an old episode here on the Self-Love Archives, actually episode 8, where I talk about the small things that changed my life. I was re-listening to it because I am filming a part 2 because there are a lot of things that have changed my life, including all the lessons I am providing you today. They really have changed my life. I don't know how I would be doing this if I really didn't take all of these to heart and really just make it happen. As I'm listening to this episode, I'm realizing that I sound different now in my podcast episodes. I sound more confident. I sound more relaxed. I sound like I know what I'm doing. And that happens for so many things. We're never going to have all of the answers. We are not going to know how to do everything. We're going to have to teach ourselves how to do this, and we're going to have to Google that. But don't let that hold you back from actually doing it. I cannot tell you how many times in my life, and I'm sure in your life and in our lives, that we hold ourselves back because we're not 100% confident in what we're doing or what we're choosing. You need to be a fraction of that to actually get started. You need to be confident in your ability, not confident in the actionable steps, not confident in every piece of it. You need to be confident in you and what you are capable of. And as long as you are confident in you and you trust yourself, you'll make it happen. You'll figure it out. You'll find someone that can create the emails for you. You'll find someone that can move you into this new place. You'll teach yourself how to do this. You'll purchase to make it easier to do that. As long as you have confidence in yourself and what you are capable of, and may I remind you, you are capable of so much more than you think, then do not let the lack of confidence in your knowledge of something hold you back. There are a lot of things about Bloom that I don't know how to do. I have never hosted an event this big, let's be honest. But that doesn't mean that I can't. That doesn't mean that I'm not capable. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to host the most amazing self-love event. It doesn't mean any of that. That just means that I am going to need to learn how to do some things or find someone that can fill those gaps on the things that I might not know how to do or might not be educated on. That means I have to ask more questions. That means I need to let ChatGPT organize my thoughts. That means that I might need to hire a friend or ask for help. But what it doesn't mean is that I'm not capable. Your lack of confidence, just like the fear in your chest, will hold you back. But as long as you are trusting in who you are and trusting in your ability and your capability and your drive and motivation to make this happen, whatever it is, do it. Do it. There's a quote somewhere that I read that you really only need to know 10% more than someone else to actually teach someone how to do something. And another one that might help, perfection also holds you back. And I feel like that's tied in with this whole confidence thing. We feel like we need to know everything. We need to have all of the answers to actually get started. But that confidence in your ability, as long as you know that you are capable, the confidence in your ability to make these things happen will build as you make it happen. It's kind of like looking back on yourself and saying, who am I to do this? What do you mean, who are you to do this? You are you. And you are capable of absolutely anything that you want to be capable of. Whatever you are in the midst of choosing for yourself, you are deserving of that. And how it comes to fruition may not fully be up to you, but it's up to you to make the choice to do it. You don't have to be 100% confident. What you need to be 100% confident in, what you need to 100% trust is you. And knowing deep down that you are capable of anything. Number 3 kind of goes along with number 2. Self-trust builds in layers over time. That confidence that you are looking for, that you think that you need to have right now in order to do all of these things, that's going to build over time. The more that you put the time, the work, the money, the education, whatever it is, the more that you put into this, the more you are going to trust yourself to make it happen. It's in the small steps that all of this builds up. It's not in the giant leaps that you take, at least not always. It's in the small steps that you take to get there. When I was in college, I remember very little from college, but when I was in college, we had a professor in my entrepreneurship degree. And this professor always talked about, it was a small business class, right? So we always talked about our goals and how to reach these goals, especially when these goals are huge. You have this goal of basically the decision that you want to make. So let's say you want to move. You want to move across the country. And this move is scary, it's uncomfortable, it's costly, and it's gonna take a couple of things for you to change or for you to do before you can actually make that decision happen. What you're gonna do, I'm more of a visual person. I love this idea of kind of working with your hands. You can use Post-its, you can use note cards, you can do it digitally if you really want to. I love taking a note, like a little notebook. What is it? A pad, a sticky. What is it called? A Post-it, Jesus. Taking a Post-it, writing your goal on this Post-it, and putting it at the top of the wall as high as you can reach. I'm only 5'4", so probably wouldn't be that high. And then I'm going to work my way down from that goal of all of the steps that it's going to take to actually get there. So if I'm looking to move across the country, I need $10,000 before I can make that decision to say, okay, I'm moving there. I need to find out where I'm moving. I need to figure out how I'm going to get my car there. Am I going to drive it there? Am I going to ship it there? Am I going to get rid of my car and get a new car? Am I going to drive a rental? Am I going to fly there? How am I getting there? And then I'm going to maybe downsize what I'm working with. I have tons of clothes and tons of stuff. And with this move, I want to get rid of half of my things. So from this main goal at the top of moving to California, because that's halfway across the country, or not halfway, that's across the country for me. If we're considering Hawaii, then it's halfway. And then all of these smaller goals, still bigger, but all of these smaller goals need to happen in order for us to be able to move. But how am I going to make that $10,000? Where is it coming from? I list all of the ways that I'm going to get to that $10,000. Let's say I need to pick up a second job and I need to sell some of the stuff that I'm trying to get rid of. And I can put away 10% of my paycheck to this $10,000 goal. So those three goals then go under make $10,000 or save $10,000 so I can move. Then the next one, if I'm going to decide to downsize and get rid of half of my stuff, how am I going to do that? How am I going to reach that goal? Am I going to donate things? Am I going to sell things? Am I going to give away things? How are you going to actually downsize? And essentially what you can do with this is you keep breaking down the goal until the bigger goal is broken down into all of these very small goals that are much more achievable. Because when we look at a huge goal like, hey, let's host an expo, a self-love expo event for 1,000 people, it seems overwhelming, soul crushing even, because you're like, how the hell am I going to do this by myself? Well, you are, because you are, and you can, because you're just going to break it down into smaller goals, into much more chewable pieces. I mean, you get a big 16-ounce steak, right? 16-ounce steak, huge bowl of mac and cheese, whatever it is. You're going to break it down. You're going to cut it in little pieces so that your body and yourself, you can actually digest it. You can actually fit it into your mouth, chew it, digest it. You know how it goes. You know how it goes when you eat a steak or a big bowl of mac and cheese. That's what you're going to do with your goals. You're going to make each of the larger goals that you have, you're going to break them down to make them more digestible, to make them more approachable. Because when you do it that way, you're like, oh yeah, I could easily go donate a bunch of these clothes. I can easily just put, 10% of my paycheck to the side to save up that 10 grand. I can definitely research some apartments or homes for rent out there in California. You can do these things, and it makes it so much easier to do them when you break it down into digestible pieces. That is a huge way that we are able to make Bloom happen with such a small team. Everything is in digestible pieces and digestible goals. And it's also time. Giving yourself the time to make it happen. But we could sit here and say that, and last year we made Bloom happen in 3 months. So it's really how you approach it and how you break it down. Everything for Bloom is organized, it's laid out, it's prioritized. And this big goal of hosting an immersive self-love event is a lot more than just hosting an immersive self-love event. There's a lot of parts, moving parts and pieces, and people to hire and attendees to share the information with. There's a lot of different pieces. But when all of these goals are broken down into digestible little things, it makes it a lot easier to say, okay, check, done. Okay, need to do this, check, done. And then you can move forward to actually reaching the bigger goal. And sometimes just seeing it visually on your wall, on a vision board, or in kind of like a little digital brainstorm, or drawing it out. Whatever mode works for you. Sometimes it's easier to see it in whatever one of these modes work for you. Modes. I've been using that word a lot lately, and I'm obviously not sure how to use it. But in all of these different ways, it's when you find the one that works for you, you can really visually see it broken down, that you are much more capable of reaching these small goals, that the bigger, more overwhelming, scary goal doesn't seem as big anymore. How it feels to invest in yourself. This is more of a feeling than it is a lesson. It's incredibly empowering to really start to choose yourself, to really start investing in yourself, whether that's with time, money, energy, love. When you start pouring into yourself, the feeling that you feel, it's actually incredible. It's like, wow, finally, you've gotten here to this place. And while there might be some hard things ahead, and some hard choices that you might need to make, and some changes that you might need to change, even though there are all of these things and maybe all of this uncertainty, you're here in this moment. Like 16-year-old you would be screaming if she knew that this was the answer, like that you were deciding whether or not to do this. Like she'd be screaming, okay? She'd be like, you're joking. Younger you would be flipping out. It is the best feeling in the world to actually invest in you, in whatever way that might be, big or small. I mean, we're talking about big here. And it's freeing to make that decision. Have you ever left a job or a relationship or friendship and felt free? Like, it was hard, right? You might be in literal tears, but you're like, oh my God, I did that. I am so proud of myself. Yeah, I know the way up is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, but I did that. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of you. You started the first step into loving yourself more. You started to step towards choosing yourself. You started the first step into trusting yourself, to investing in yourself. How are you going to make the life of your dreams happen if you don't choose yourself? If you don't just start? If you don't make big and scary decisions? if you don't complete small goals that lead to the bigger one. Choose yourself. Invest in yourself. Let it sink in. Sit in that gratitude of you coming to this place of courage where you finally are like, no, I'm gonna do this. Big, small, medium, whatever the size of this choice and this decision is, this step forward. I always picture like a board game. Are you rolling the die and getting a 6? Are you stepping 6 feet forward? Are you stepping just 1 forward? Whatever it is, sit in that gratitude for this choice that you just made, for the betterment of you, for the growth of you. Hear your higher self talking to you, saying, thank you. Yes, you are 1 step closer to me. I mean, technically, you are me. Sit in that gratitude and be forever grateful of how brave and courageous you are in this moment to make this choice for yourself, to make this choice in loving yourself more. Let me give you a little recap on what we went over today. These are 4 lessons in choosing yourself. Number 1, say yes even when you're scared. Do not let fear hold you back. Number 2, show up even if you're not feeling 100% confident. Number 3, self-love and self-trust builds in layers, not necessarily leaps. Break down your bigger goals into smaller, digestible ones. And number 4, give yourself gratitude for investing in yourself. Feel all of the feelings of investing in yourself and choosing yourself, whether that's by giving it more energy, giving yourself more time, money, love. Give yourself gratitude. Feel into all of the feelings that you're feeling right now. And look yourself in the mirror today and say, I'm proud of you. Because I'm proud of you. Self-love is not always soft. We're kind of fed this rhetoric that self-love is all rainbows and butterflies. And while I do believe that self-love is the rainbows and butterflies, it's also what's at the end of the rainbow. It's also the clouds on a stormy day. It's the rain. It's the snow. But it's also the sunshine. It's all of the above. It's all encompassing. Self-love is bold. It's messy. It can be scary. It can ask you to go deeper with yourself. Choosing yourself is not always going to be an easy decision. But what it's going to be is an empowering decision. That decision that you make today for you, the one that's going to change the trajectory of how your life moves forward, that decision, that choice of self-love, that is self-love. That is the decision to choose yourself and to love yourself more. And the only thing that you're going to do is look back and be so incredibly grateful that you decided to put fear behind you, to say, fuck being 100% confident. I'm just going to do this because I'm confident, maybe not in my ability, but in my capability to make this happen. Because you are all of the things that the world told you you are not. You are enough, you are capable, and you are worthy of your biggest and wildest dreams. And I hope that my courage to make this crazy, insane decision to host Bloom, the first ever immersive self-love experience, coming to Bell Works in Holmdel, New Jersey, September 28th, 2025. I hope my courage to move forward with something absolutely insane provides you the permission to do the same. I had a really amazing conversation with Nikki from Willow and Jade. We talked to her a couple of episodes ago. It's episode 45. And we talked a little bit about Bloom, and I want to share that with you so you can learn a little bit more about this amazing self-love event and see if you'd like to attend. All of the information is going to be in the show notes and description down below. So make sure to check it out and get your tickets to Bloom. And I hope to see you there. Loving yourself more. Yeah, my friend goes, yeah, you're planning a wedding.
You are planning a wedding for everyone else.
For everyone else. Except I hopefully get the money back.
I think you will.
Oh, thank you.
I think so. It's going to be awesome. Bloom last year I was so proud of you. It was such a beautiful event, and all of the energy was excellent.
Thanks.
Like, you really curated an amazing event. And for your first one, like, what the hell?
Thank you. I feel like I can't technically say it was the first Bloom, but I don't think I can technically say it was the first event because I host tons of house parties all the time.
Yes.
You got to come to one sometime.
Truly. Actually, yes.
But this was the 12th or 13th event of mine that I've hosted. So I've hosted a lot of dinner parties, and the one thing being Italian that always brings people together is doing things family style.
Yeah.
Always, because you have to share, you have to talk to each other. It's not a plated dinner.
Yeah.
You have to say, pass the pasta or you ain't getting any.
Exactly. You know what? I never thought about that way, but you're right.
Yeah.
Like, you have to share.
Yeah.
You have to interact with everyone on the table. Like, if you want that cheese that's on the other end of the table, you are yelling
it's
across.
Gotta be passed down.
Truly.
Yep. You're like, it's like playing telephone, but you're like 30 years old, just really wanting some pasta.
Exactly. No, that's awesome.
Thank you. So I hosted a lot of those, and that's what brought me to, granted it was for like creators and brands.
Yeah.
And now this is for brands, creators, and people. Yeah, so Bloom last year was not my first rodeo, I guess, but it was at that size. Because the biggest size I had one of those dinners was 110, 120.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What do you mean?
That restaurant was real mad at me. Because, so technically, it was Patrizia's, but in New York City.
Okay.
And their fire code for upstairs, where they have like a room where you can have parties and stuff, is 100. So I was like, we could like maybe make a reservation for like 15 downstairs.
15.
So
Julia.
This was like years ago. This was like 2019.
Okay.
But so we made a reservation for everybody else that wanted to come. And I don't think I charged them for a ticket or anything like that because they were kind of on their own downstairs to order food and whatnot. But they could, they got a goodie bag. They got to interact with people. And it just got so crazy. It was great.
Oh, I had no idea you did that.
Yeah, it was really fun.
That's awesome.
And that's kind of what inspired Bloom. I did it originally because we needed more community and more connection between people who were doing content online. Yeah. And I don't know. I always say this too. Like, I never know who I'm looking for. If someone emailed me and invited me somewhere, I don't know who you are. Yeah. I don't know what you look like, but you know what I look like. I know what your name is.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll go to the front and be like, do you know where Sally is? Yeah. And I dread the fact that I'm talking to Sally asking that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I feel so rude, but like, you didn't put a picture on your email.
Yeah. Like, how am I going to know who the hell you are?
Exactly. So that's what inspired like Future Bloom.
Yeah.
And wanting to create that atmosphere in that space. And that's why I wanted you guys a part of it last year, because you have that in your own business. So you would understand the core of why Bloom exists.
Yeah.
Because there is no atmosphere, there is no community in these other events. It's people wanting free shit.
It literally is.
And I don't like that. I like to give away free shit.
Same.
But you need to come there with the intention that you want to meet people, you want to experience something, and you want to love yourself more in the small ways.
Exactly.
That's what the event's all about. It's not about getting deep like we get deep here. It's about loving yourself in small ways. And if you get deep at that event, get deep.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and people were.
Deep. Oh, I'm
the
sure.
People, like, when we were doing the goddess glitter, like the hair tinsel at your event, I was having amazing conversations with some of these women. And every time I was like, I can't believe Julia got all these people together. It was so like wholesome. There was a woman, I think she was in her 60s. She came alone. She was from Seagirt. She's like, I was like, oh, do you know Julia? She's like, actually, no. I saw this on like a Facebook ad. And I was like, okay. And she's like, I just got divorced and I just don't feel like myself and I needed to do something for me. And she was like getting all this glitter in her hair. I was like,
this is exactly why I did the event. Like, how perfect is that?
It was excellent. I'm like crying over this lady. I'm like turning her away from the mirror. I'm like, don't look at me when you're talking. You're getting extra glitter all over your hair. I don't care how long the line is. But yeah, she was like, this is just like, she's like, the energy's good here. And I needed this for my soul.
I love that.
You did that.
Thanks.
You did that.
I love to hear it too, because, you know, I'm running around trying to like make sure the event happens, making sure like the logistics are going on, the place is clean and whatnot.
The cops don't need to be there.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry to bring that up.
No, it's okay. Now I feel comfortable to talk about it now, but we're gonna come back to that.
We sure are.
Future podcast episode. We're gonna talk about how the cops showed up at the first event. Oh my goodness! Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Thank you so much for being here and for listening to today's episode. I appreciate you to the moon and back as always. Make sure to tune in to our next episode, which will be 2 weeks from now. We post bi-weekly episodes every single other Sunday at 12 o'clock Eastern time. I hope to see you at Bloom, loving yourself more. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, or anything motivating that you'd like to share with anyone else, leave it in the comments below. I love you to the moon and back. I thank you to the moon and back. I am grateful for you and I am proud of you. Make your wildest dreams happen this week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.